Hey everyone, Build 27 came out today. Much to my surprise and almost chagrin, that it came out today, and I was expecting to have a day where I don't do anything and get to sit around and draw all day, and, nope, I don't get that. I have to do this. No, I'm just kidding on being down on a New Grim Dawn update. I love New Grim Dawn updates. New Grim Dawn updates are awesome. Especially this one. And I'm going to be going over the Aether stuff in this video, specifically on the Arcanist side of things, because the Arcanist had some changes, and the Aether actually had some changes. And the first significant one, as you may notice, is I'm just permanently in my little Chamber of Understanding here, because Maven Sphere is now a toggled ability. Even though it doesn't actually say toggle this to maintain its effect like, say, that does. That's a little error. But Maven Sphere of Protection is now on all the time. What this means is you get damage absorption all the time. It's a great addition to what the Arcanist is. And it really does solve a problem that the class kind of had, which was, you know, dying. It is at the expense of your total damage, but if you get your damage high enough, that's irrelevant, because you'll still just shred through everything, only now you just won't die as often, or take as much damage as often. So it's a very, very good addition. Otherwise, it functions more or less the same way it always did. You just keep it on all the time now. Another big bonus that's happened with the Arcanist is the Scoundrel's Elemental Exchange has changed a bit. Firstly, it now adds I don't remember this being in there before, the percent physical damage is converted to elemental damage. So what that means is, your total physical damage you have, it takes a percent of that and turns it into elemental damage. Now, in the case of this build, it's completely irrelevant, I think now, because that would only apply to your weapon swing. And it doesn't actually add percent elemental damage. I think it's just raw, flat elemental damage. But still, it's a cool addition to the class. But the main thing now on the Scoundrel's Elemental Exchange that I would put points in it for within the Albrecht's Aether build is it just adds energy regen on. Percent energy regen. So I put 1 point in it, all of my plus to skills jump it up to 5, so now I have 33% more energy regen. So if we look at our energy regen now, mine jumped from something like 80 to 144 just because of all the energy regen I had floating around, and because of all of that just new 30% just thrown in there. Very excellent. Very nice. The other two abilities, I think now Overload added in the chance to deal the 3 types of burn damage, in addition to just providing... Or was that there before? I don't remember. Anyways, just moving on, because it's additional little points of damage in addition to the percent elemental damage it provides. And there's percent crit now on elemental balance. So 1 point in these two are actually kind of worth it now, especially if you have +1 to all skills. In my case, it's +2 to all skills in total. So yeah, we do get more benefit from these two now than we did before. I mean, adding those little burns on is still kind of meh. But it's you know, bonus damage. Mirror Varactes functions exactly the same. Maven Sphere, as I mentioned before, is now a toggle, and I love it. Kalidor's Tempest, I think, is more or less the same. I'm not seeing any difference on either one, really. I'm still using it in its Wrath of Agrivex mode, though. And because I have now this spot open on my bar, I may actually try to get a point or two from other things and put it into Electra's. Because Electra's Flash Freeze, the damage, the fire resistance lowering it does, has been increased. So it actually does more, it lowers the fire resistance of targets even more, which is great for Albrecht's Aether Ray. So it's something I'm considering, because now I can actually manage to have it as a click, and it's an additional defensive skill. I don't think Trojans... I mean, I'm not using Trojans in this, but I don't really think it's had any major changes. Yeah, that all looks the same. Inner Focus is the same. Oh, Arcane Will is now, when it drops below 70%. So it's less now. Okay, it's less now, and it's energy regen per second instead of percent or skill cost reduction. So that's pretty nice. Mental alacrity looks about the same. Fabric reality is the same. Devastation functions the same. I think even the damages are the same. They might have been upped a little bit. Now, Reckless Power may be worth putting a point or two, or just putting points into now, because it reduces your health by 40%, which is pretty significant. But now, as you put points in, it reduces it. It actually reduces the health reduction. Because before it was doing it, it started at like 15% or something like that. And the health reduction actually increased as you put more points into it. Which basically made the skill a huge liability going forward. But now, I mean, 40% is a lot. But now it gets reduced as you put points into it. I think it's down to like 20%. The patch notes said. Panetti's looks about the same. Oh, wow, that's actually kind of a lot of Aether damage right there. Panetti's looks about the same. And it functions the same way. So we've gone over all the skills, but the biggie. So look at the damage numbers on this. I don't know if they actually have the percents from that apply to this now, but the damage on that just seems really, really, really high. I'm not complaining, but it looks like it's really, really high. Now, it's the exact same setup it had in build 26. Fire damage, Aether damage, crit damage. And the energy cost has been increased, because I think they increased the fire and Aether damage, respectively. But the new thing is Disintegrate. Disintegration no longer has weapon damage on it, and instead has bonus crit damage on it. So this is becoming a very crit-heavy build, it looks like. Now, I don't have a lot of points in Disintegration. In fact, I think I have 1 point in Disintegration. Maybe 2. No, 1 point. I have 1 point in Disintegration still, just because I can't actually pull enough points out of it to justify jacking it way up. But it's on my list first thing to do as my next skill to max out. It's just that because I'm still doing Arcanist Demolitionist, I'm spread a little thin on my points. And Disintegration is where the points are going to suffer. And you may notice I have 9 in here. I believe I have a +3, so I put 6 points on Maven Sphere Protection over Disintegration right now, just because of what it provides in terms of defenses now. But Disintegration is next on my list to get leveled up, because you'll just get tons and tons of crit damage. But what this also means is your weapon damage means absolutely jack shit for Albrecht's Aether Ray. So you will only really want to stack Aether damage and fire damage for the Ray. Or if you're doing the Chaos Ray, you're going to want to stack Chaos damage. So like this, the Aether damage actually on the weapon, which I think is new. It's now physical and Aether on the swing. But now it's just about getting percent Aether damage and percent fire damage. And this right now just happens to be my highest percent Aether damage weapon. In addition to providing +1 to all skills, which is still awesome from that weapon. So the changes on the Demolitionist side are few and far between. I still have a couple points in Flame Touched to get the bonuses, just get percent bonuses. And I still got Vindictive Flame and Ulzin's Wrath with 1 point as another defensive layer. But honestly, I'm considering just dropping those 2 points and maybe pulling the point out of Blast Shield, because I just don't think I need all those defenses anymore, and I could put the points in either Canister Bomb, Flame Touch, Disintegration, or Maven Sphere. So that's 3 points I have floating around that I'm probably going to grab up and place elsewhere. And that does sadden me a bit that this is basically turning into an Arcanist with just a Demolitionist Bomb add-on, but I mean, really, it's all you need. But Blast Shield may provide still some protection, because it's protection against 2 elemental types. And that's always handy. So I may keep the point in Blast Shield and pull it out of Vindictive Flame and Ulzin's. But I mean, even these run through all my bonuses, give me a good bit of retaliation. So it's not like it's useless points right now. It's just I'm considering removing them, because you also may notice I don't have +1 to all skills in here a lot. because of another big change. Chains, we can actually go and look at this. Chains of Alarin and Hallowed Ground have both been changed so they don't provide +1 to all skills anymore. On some level, I'm kind of saddened by that, because it was really powerful to have that. But on another, on the other hand, I actually like this more than having +1 to all skills on these, because having +1 to all skills on these basically made them the necessary choice for your chest piece. Now instead, they all provide a +1 bonus to 2 separate skills. So for the Nightblade here, it's Lethal Gambit and Dual Blades, and I think it's always the same no matter what. So the Soldier has Cadence and Overguard, the Arcanist is Panetti's and Arcane Will. I know I have an Occultist one floating around here somewhere. The Occultist one is Curse of Frailty and Possession, and the Demolitionist one is Fire Strike and Flame Touched. So now that these do that instead, I still think they're good components, especially if you're using those abilities. But now I actually think you have better options and more options to use on your chest piece. So, if, like if you're doing, actually, Killery and Shattered Soul might be a good thing for me to be using. I don't know, I'm looking at it. Because I have fire and vitality damage on my beam. Ooh, it's something to consider. And get vitality resistance out of it as well. I'm still using a Chains of Alarin, but I have the skill energy cost reduction, because stacking that helps me sustain the beam more. Another big change is Ancient Armor Plate has lost its total damage. But it's still a great piece of leg component because it provides physique armor, percent armor, and in my case, energy regen, even though I have an absurd energy regen now thanks to Iskander's Elemental Exchange. I think another change is the Homestead Augment doesn't provide flat damage anymore, it's percent fire. Whoopie-doo, that's actually what I want. I think all of the gear I have is pretty much... Oh, I did trade out my boots. Originally, I was using the Hellion Greaves, and I think these originally had Hellfire, or it wasn't Hellfire and Blast Shield, it was something else in Blast Shield. No, it was Hellfire and Blast Shield, actually. But I actually think they're kind of not as good for my character now. So I switched to just some more Warrior Greaves, because they have move speed on them by default, and, you know, health and offensive ability and physique, and, you know, all that is actually really good for, you know, for sort of like utilitarian stats, instead of just flat fire damage. And then the other big change, at least for my gear personally, was the Obsidian Grasp. I think they increased the physique on it by a lot. Because I was using them and they were fine, but now I had to actually switch back to Warwari handguards. Which, I mean, is not a terrible change, ultimately, because they're still useful handguards. And in my chest piece from the last video I showed with the Albrecht's Aether Ray stuff, I was using Magnuson's Trenchcoat, but I lost like the 10 physique or whatever, because actually I think it was the percent physique on that was actually allowing me to equip the chest. So yeah, I lost that, and instead I'm just using my Haunted Vestment of Vitality, which is a great chunk of health and regen, and a tiny bit of Aether damage, which is nice. So we are going to go into the field. I feel like I'm zoomed in a little bit, actually. We're just going to go... Oh yeah, let's go to Darkveil Gate. So first things first, I may accidentally activate my devastation instead of throwing out a bomb, because I've actually got the buttons switched from where they were before. So it might be a little difficult. A little bit of difficulty for me dealing with that. Hey. Now, you're going to notice that my numbers aren't going to be fantastic on screen, but it's going to be fine because we're still going to just kill everything. We're just going to beam everything, and everything's going to die. Even if the numbers aren't going to look the best. Because the other thing is, like, I'm standing in this fire, and it's like, yeah, I don't care anymore. Not to get my arrogant wizard on, but yep, oh there it was. I knew I'd do it. It's just reflex. It's still reflex to hit the quick slot key for my that I have on devastation right now. My quick slot key is in fact where I used to have my bomb. So yeah, we're gonna do. That's not the last time you've seen me do that, where I just accidentally drop one devastation wave. Now those bursts that just killed all that, that was, I think, my Aether Lord Signet proc, because it looks like the proc off of this, the Arcane Blast. I mean, look at that Aether damage. It's insanity. It's awesome. So, yeah, having that being able to proc twice is pretty sweet. Now I'm actually wondering how well I can just sit here and tank something. Not those guys. Those guys suck. Like, let's just have this guy hit me for a while. Because it's like, well, he got stunned by Ulzin's Wrath. I mean, it's kind of awesome. I'm a spellcaster, and I'm doing that. All because of Maven's Sphere. Now, part of me does want to turn it off just to see what the damage looks like on the beam, but, like, this feels about the same as it was before. I mean, 7,000 damage is not a... It's not a tiny... It's, like, not an insignificant amount of crit. I don't care about the treasure chest. I mean, like, I think before I was able to cap out at something like 10,000, but it's like I don't mind having lower damage if it means I don't die, because a dead DPS is 0 DPS. So slightly reduced DPS so I don't die, I'm absolutely fine with. Now, I am going to do a shaman video. Don't worry, everyone. I am absolutely going to go in depth on that shaman. In fact, I think I'm going to do a pet class with it, because there's just a ton of pet stuff I have floating around. So it's like, I don't actually know that... I don't actually know what I'm going to do exactly, because I want to play with it first, but... I am heavily leaning towards pet class. Now, during that little skirmish there, I think I actually took on like 3 Doom Bolts. So, you know those annoying ass Doom Bolts that the one type of cultist throws at you? I think I just like face tanked 3 of them. I don't know if they reduced the damage on those, but certainly felt a lot better. Oh, I think I missed one of the secret areas downstairs. Because like if we're gonna explore this area, we're gonna do it right. In all fairness, I think I've forgotten the 1 or 2 secret areas that are down there. So there's another new thing in the game that I can't actually get yet. No one can get yet unless you cheat. And that's in the factions, in the faction sellers, or quartermasters. They the faction quartermasters actually have a new augment that's for level 70 that works on all armor. So I'm kind of excited about that because they're all resistance based, and I think in the higher difficulties that are coming up, they're gonna do that like reduced resistances thing that all other action RPGs do when you get to really high difficulties. I was kind of hoping to have the Nemesis spawn happen, because they said they upped the spawn rates of those. I just don't know by how much. So it's up though. They said they upped it. I was kind of hoping I'd encounter the Chthonian one. I still don't have the. Oh, that's a new one. That's another new one. I'll mention in a second. I still don't have the Cronley's Gang one. I was farming it up, and then I just stopped. Another new thing they did in the game, and I kind of want to go into the Steps of Torment to see this, is they changed the sound effects for guns and crossbows. And I'm sure anyone that's been watching my videos knows I hate the crossbow sound in this game. So I'm actually kind of excited for that because, hooray, no more crossbow sounds, annoying crossbow sounds. I just don't know what they've been changed to. And they said they put in a new type of treasure chest called a treasure trove. And I'm kind of curious to see what one of those looks like. It is absolutely weird to be this tanky again. Or just this tanky at all. Yeah, so if you listen, that is a very, very discernibly different sound effect than what guns had before. I like it. It actually kind of sounds like a gun now. I mean, it did sound like a gun before, but it sounds like a better sound effect for a gun. I mean, I have absolutely no fear of dying, so it's like that portal may have been pointless, but you never know. It's always safe to be safe. That sentence made sense, right? It's also kind of weird to be able to sustain the beam for that long. Just to me. Was this just a corpse back here? No. Because I've kind of developed this style with the beam of sort of like just stopping and starting it. I'm standing in the Chaos Fire and I just don't even give a shit. It's awesome. Just like the starting and stopping of the beam on a per target basis. So it's weird to be able to just sit here and actually like throw it out. Okay, you two gotta stop. Oh, hello. That's not the Nemesis spawn, but I definitely don't want to be next to it. I mean, yeah, technically I'd be able to kill these things faster without Maven's sphere of influence up, or sphere of influence, Maven's sphere of protection up, but it's just, to me, it's going to be too awesome of an ability to pass up, really. Unless you're super geared for defense, but with this, you can actually gear strictly for DPS and you'll be fine. It's a nice looking ring. I'm double Aether lording it, so I don't think I'd ever actually switch out one of those for that ring. So let's take out this boss. Now the other thing about... Oh, God damn it. The other thing about Maven Sphere being like this is... Now, like, Mirror of Oryctes has its own feel. That's new. him just getting ads immediately is new. Let's see if I can actually... Ow. Ow. Oh, that's the first thing I can't tank. Oh, man. Holy shit. Yeah, that was actually kind of panic-inducing, because that was the first thing I couldn't tank I've encountered so far. But yeah, Maven Sphere and Mirror of Oryctes, because Maven Sphere is now the toggle, it doesn't overlap with Mirror of Oryctes in terms of what it does anymore. So it's also a very nice addition there. I was just checking to see if John Bourbon was still there. He is. There is a new area that I'm going to cover in its own video, and I'm going to cover the Shaman in its own video. But anyways, that'll cover the Albrecht's Aether Ray updates for build 27. I'm not going to do a full set of build videos again, because I feel like with no level cap increase, there really isn't a reason to do that. But I mean, this has been covered, so I covered the changes. And this pretty much applies to any of the builds you would do, whether or not you're doing a pure Arcanist, what I'm doing with the Sorcerer, or if you're going with the Tainted Power Beam. It's pretty much the same changes. So, anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time for either the new area or the Shaman, for Shaman builds, or whatever. So, thanks again, and I'll see you guys then.